अस्सलाम वालेकुम नाजरीन, मैं हूं आपका मेज़बान एम ए रज़ा और आप देख रहे हैं टीपी न्यूज़। नाजरीन, चेयरमैन पीटीआई इमरान खान को कल ज़मान पार्क उनके घर से गिरफ़्तार कर लिया गया। उनकी गिरफ़्तारी से पहले एक इंटरव्यू उनका हुआ है। बहुत सारे ज़राए ये भी कह रहे हैं कि उनकी जो गिरफ़्तारी है उसमें तेज़ी भी इस इंटरव्यू की वजह से ही हुई। वो इंटरव्यू आपको दिखाएंगे। चैनल को लाजम सब्सक्राइब किया कीजिए, साथ में लगा बेल आइकन भी दबाया कीजिए और कोशिश किया कीजिए कि कोई भी हमारी इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियो उसी सूरत में आपको मिलेगी कि साथ में लगा बेल आइकन दबाएंगे। आइए इंटरव्यू देखते हैं।
Establishment is one man, the army chief. Whatever he decides, it's a disciplined army, as it should be. Now, I have no problem with him. But he seems to have a problem with me. There's something floating out on the social media about some statement or allegations he's made against me, which are quite worrisome because that's what he thinks about me. But it's his problem. There's some reason why he has decided that whatever happens, Imran Khan cannot come into power. But I have no problem with him. So, in other words, I was told that, he's worried that if I come to power, I would sack him. I have, my policy is very straightforward. Army is an institution. You don't directly, what is the word? I mean, you do not want to interfere with it to affect it like all our other institutions have been weakened. And if it's a surety he wants that I shouldn't sack him, well, I was willing to give it. So, all I'm saying is the problem is not from my side. This is again a myth. And this myth was floated by General Bajwa. I never, a year before the appointment of the army chief, I never even thought about who should be the army chief. For a start, apart from General Faz, I didn't know any of the other contenders. So how could I make up my mind until I knew who were the people who were competing? How could I make up my mind? So I never thought of, let me just make it clear. If I had to interfere in the army, when I knew General Bajwa was trying to oust me, I knew that the conspiracy was going on. I should have then removed him because I could have denotified him. But despite knowing all that, I said, I'm not going to interfere with the army. And so, all I'm saying is that what is happening right now is not because of me. It's nothing I have done to antagonize the army chief. There is something he has on me, he has against me, which I don't know. Well, I was in jail for 4 days, and I had no idea what was going on because I was completely cut off from all news. So it was only after 4 days I discovered what had happened unlawfully as ruled by the Supreme Court. And so it was only afterwards I discovered that we know about. And there were up to 600 people who got injured. 600 people got injured. So what I don't want is, if I am jailed again, I do not want violence. Because violence feeds into the narrative of the PDM or these parties who are petrified of elections. Because they then use that violence to then clamp down on us and this crackdown on us, where anyone affiliated with PTI is just thrown into jail. The PDM and the establishment, they are petrified of elections. Why are they petrified? Because every survey says PTI will get 2/3 majority the moment there are elections. A man who's known in this country for 50 years had never had one criminal case. Just in 4 or 5 months, 150 criminal cases. Why? To get me out of the race, get me disqualified. 2 assassination attempts. One where I got shot. Then there was I almost got killed in another attempt in the judicial complex in Islamabad. So why? It's to get me out of the race. So if you understand the reasoning by what is going on right now, the establishment and the PDM parties, then you will know they use this as a pretext to actually crush PTI. How can they have found that 7,500 PTI workers were involved? Have they any evidence? Most of them have not even been produced in a court of law. They've just conducted a reign of terror, breaking people's houses, walking in the middle of the night. Anyone whose PTI has been attacked by the security agency. First of all, during our time, there were only 5% of the cases against them. 95% of corruption cases against the PML leadership was from their own time. Remember, Ishaq Dar ran away when it was PML government. Nawaz Sharif's two sons ran away from Pakistan during their government.
You allowed Nawaz to leave though.
No, but first of all the 95% of the corruption cases were when we inherited them. Nawaz went during our time, but unfortunately, we didn't realize that his reports were all doctored. We thought he wouldn't survive a day. We were told in the cabinets. Anyway, what I'm saying is that you cannot even think of comparing what has happened to us in the last 1 year as opposed to what happened to them. I mean, when Nawaz Sharif was why was he banned? Because he was convicted by the Supreme Court. He lied that he was ill. He left the country. A convict leaves the country, absconds from justice, and he was making speeches from London. That's when the courts took a decision. Why have I been banned? I've not even been convicted of one thing. I mean, these are all allegations. So I'm banned from television. They can't show any of my live addresses. My senior leadership, everyone is now lumbered with cases. All our time is spent going from one court to the other to get bail. This never happened with PML. The most important thing for Pakistan to get out of this economy, implemented when you have a powerful government, a clear majority. And rule of law is the beginning of the rise of Pakistan. Because you will only get democracy can only take place when there's rule of law. Prosperity only comes when there's rule of law. Investment comes with rule of law. Countries that have secure and rule of law invite investment. So what is Dubai compared to Pakistan? Look at our resources in this. And invest in Dubai. I don't know what, I'm not that arrogant or, believe that without me the country won't survive. But all I know is that my struggle is for 27 years. And the main gist of the struggle is that what I saw when I went as a teenager to England, that I discovered that without rule of law, countries, don't prosper. You don't have democracy. So the key to a civilized society is where everyone is equal before the law. And unfortunately, Pakistan from its beginning has the law of the jungle. The powerful are above law. And the ordinary people don't have access to justice. And societies like that can never prosper. The entire developing world is poor not because of lack of resources, because they don't have justice.
तो नाज़रीन, आपने इंटरव्यू भी सुना, देखा। बहरहाल इस वक्त ये भी सुनने में आ रहा है कि इंतखाबात जो है वो भी तख़ीर की तरफ चल रहे हैं। तो पता नहीं मुल्क किस तरफ लेकर जा रहे हैं ये जो मुल्क के अशराफिया हैं। तो बहरहाल नाज़रीन, सियासतदानों की तो जो हालत है वो आपके और मेरे सामने है। बहरहाल चेयरमैन PTI को गिरफ़्तार कर लिया गया है। उनको तोशाखाना केस में जुर्माना भी किया गया और 3 साल के लिए नाअहल भी कर दिया है। यानी इमरान ख़ान को अब सियासत से हटाने का पक्का प्रोग्राम है। आगे देखते हैं क्या होता है, वकला क्या करते हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट क्या करता है। तो अपना बहुत सारा ख्याल रखिएगा। आज के लिए बस इतना ही। इसी तरह की नई इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियो के साथ एक बार फिर आपकी खिदमत में हाज़िर होंगे। अपने मेज़बान एम रज़ा को इजाज़त दीजिए। अल्लाह हाफ़िज़।